Hey guys, here's Catiana Isabel and I'm back with a new video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my entire first CrossFit workout. It was so much harder than I expected. For some reason I thought, you know what, I'm trained. I do track and field. I just ended my season last week, so it's not as if I've been out for weeks or months. Sorry, I have a summer cold, so that's why I sound a little bit congested because I literally am. Anyhow, it was just so much worse than I ever thought it could be because I just don't really do longer workouts ever. Maybe in winter before the before the winter season, but that's pretty much in November, so that's been quite a while ago. Here you can see our workout. It's 30 minutes, as many rounds as possible, one rope climb, which we're going to get the introduction for right now. Then 10 man makers. I'm going to be showing you guys or telling you guys about what they are exactly later on. 20 lunges with the dumbbells. And then after that, I think that was it. Yeah, you had to do those three things and then go on to the next round. And after 2 rounds, you always had to do 10 burpees. So that was the workout, and you had to do it obviously for 30 minutes and try to get as many rounds in as possible. At the end of it, I had 4 rounds, and I tried the rope climb, but I just didn't get up anymore. But yeah, I thought I would go so much further, and I'm shaking my head because I know I have no upper strength whatsoever. And rope climbing and everything climbing is just not my thing. So, oh my gosh, it already started out horribly. I just knew that it was going to be hard, but I didn't think it would be that hard. Like, I didn't think it was going to be as horrible as it was at the end of the day. But I'll show you what I mean when we get there. So before the workout even started, I knew I was going to take my shirt off because it was around 100 degrees, so like 35 grad. And I knew I didn't want to be really disgusting when I got back onto the train, so I took my shirt off right off the bat. But at the end of it, I was still a sweaty mess. But I guess that's what CrossFit is kind of all about, to push yourself to your limits, and you also kind of have to sweat for that. So that's that. As I said, the first thing was the rope climb. The other man did it a little smarter than I. The one on the right, he got on the rope faster than me, and the one on the left, he just jumped a lot higher, so he only had to do half of the climb. I wasn't that smart, and that was one of the only rope climbs that was actually as fast as other people's. I needed forever to do these. But anyhow, on to the man makers. You can't see myself now, but I'm going to go into frame in a couple of seconds. But basically the man maker is you have 2 dumbbells. Mine were 8 kilos, so that's around 20 pounds, I'd say. And you go into the plank position, then you actually do a, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word, a Liegestütze, so you do that. I try to think of the word in a second. Then you have to do, like pull both once, then you kind of clean with those dumbbells, and then you do one thruster, and that's one man maker. So here you go. Get in the plank position, do your, oh my gosh, why can't I think of the word? I have to look up the word right now because my brain is mush. Push up, that's the word. How could I not think of that? I don't know why. Anyhow, you can see I was already dying, even though that was the first round. I just went hot out of from the get-go, and it was just like, it can't be that bad, right? But it was that bad. And later on, I won't even be able to do more than one man maker, like in a row. So I always had to pause. And I think after this round, the coach, Ralph, or no, Wolf actually came to me and he was like, you know what, do the push-ups with your knees on the floor, so like the lady push-ups, because my push-ups were just horrible, as you can see here, because I don't have upper body strength. And I think here's where he's telling me to do that, because he could see that if I didn't do it that way, I just wouldn't last through the workout, and there's no point in that, because you want to be able to complete the workout. And if you have to do a variation that's just a slight bit easier, you'd rather do that than not be able to make it. So first I was a little frustrated and mad that he thought I couldn't do the push-ups, even though he was obviously right. So I just did them anyway, the normal way, even though I knew I could feel that they weren't how they're supposed to be. And then he came around again and told me, just do the other, to do the easier. Oh my gosh, just do the easier variation of the push-ups. There's no fault in that. It's not bad. Just do it, please. And he was so right about that, because then the man makers weren't as horrible for me, and I could just do the workout a little more fluently than always having to take a break because I just couldn't hold anything anymore. And I got one of those kind of bracelets, and they have numbers on them, so you could always hold one number to the other side so you can remember how many rounds you already have. And here I started to have the biggest problem ever, because I just wasn't focusing on the rope climb, because in my head it was like it's only one rope climb, right? I can do one rope climb at a time. But you actually have to do it when you're like concentrated, because otherwise, like me, you'll have to do it 4 times. The technique I was using was having the rope between your feet and pushing your feet together so it would stay there, and then you can get your feet real close to your chest, theoretically, and then stand up and then pull your feet towards your chest again. Problem was, first of all, I didn't get them really close up to me, so I would have to do more repetitions of getting my knees up if you don't get them up as far. That's what I'm trying to say. And also, I was just not like pressing my feet to each other hard enough. That's why the rope was starting to slip every time. And that's why I had to do it over and over and over, because I can't do them with my arm strength alone. But in the end, I actually managed. And here I'm starting off my second round of these man makers. And these things are just really bad. Sorry for drinking. But yeah, at the beginning, I did quite a lot of them in a row actually. I didn't realize that I did that, because I just remember that at the end, I had to do them one at a time, because I just couldn't lift it anymore. I was just not feeling it. Well, not that I didn't like the workout. I mean, it was hard, but I did want to challenge myself, which is why I went in the first place. But I just couldn't lift it anymore, in the sense of I just couldn't. My arms were just like jello. And then he came, I think, to tell me that I was really supposed to do those push-ups with my knees on the floor, because then I would do them a little better, like technique-wise. And it makes sense to do something with better technique, even if you have to do it like an easier variation of it in the beginning, because that's the only way you'll get further. And sometimes I would just get on my knees and pause, like so, it'd just be like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Why am I here? My season's over. I could just sit at home and watch Netflix or go to the, like, not beach, but to the riverside. Why am I doing this to myself? But actually, at the end of the day, I was pretty proud that I did do it. So there's that. And here I got that bracelet, as I already said. It was a little far away from me, so I couldn't see it. So I put it to a place where I would remember to change it up so that I would actually know how many rounds I did at the end of the day. In here, I'm starting off with those lunges. I don't know if you have to get your knee to the floor. He didn't say. But I think at a competition you would get a no rep for not doing it. But we didn't have judges here, and he didn't say if we had to. At least I don't remember him saying. So that's that. If I haven't, and I think I never did, repetitions are 1 rope climb, 10 bend makers, and 10 lunges. No, 20 lunges. Oh my gosh, my brain. And then you would start from the beginning. I meant to say 10 on each side, which is why I said 10. Anyhow, it's pretty annoying that I have to film this in stages because film or record this voiceover in stages because my nose is running so bad. It's very much so annoying. And after a couple of minutes, I just can't speak without just trying to blow my nose. So I don't want to do that while recording, which is why I always switch it off. So if you can hear it being a little jumpy, then I'm sorry about that, but you don't want to hear me blow my nose, so that's that. And here I started doing the burpees that you have to do after each round. Problem was, first of all, I didn't know how to do the burpees because he just said burpees, thinking everyone would know how to do them. But in track and field, we normally don't put our chest on the floor. We actually do a push-up, or that's how I've done it so far. And after the push-up, you jump as seen here, but we really try to get off the floor and not just a couple of centimeters or inches off of it, but really jump quite high. So that's that. And I think the coach will come over here now or later on to tell me to go somewhere else because the floor was moving behind me, so it was making it harder on me. And here he told us, well, you know what? I have something really good to tell you. You already have 10 minutes, so only 2 more thirds to go. And I was like, well, that's just amazing, right? And he told me that right before I was done. I think I have 9 burpees, so now I have 10. And I just couldn't remember how many I actually did. So that wasn't fun. And the problem was, because he had interrupted me, I forgot that I didn't have to do 20 burpees, but only 10. So I ended up doing, I think, 18, which is where I'm counting right now. I already have 14. And everyone else was like, why are you doing so many burpees? And I was like, well, we have to do 20, right? And he was like, no, you have to do 10. I was like, oh, shoot. And then the other guy told me, you know what, it happens to me every once in a while. You know, we just do it this way that if this happens to you, because it wouldn't at a competition because you have someone to count, you just do less the next round or the next time, especially if you've really done that many more. So now I'm actually at 18, so my counting wasn't even off. Yes. I thought it was way off, but I wasn't. That's great. Anyhow, I did 18 instead of 10, so pretty much twice the amount. And now that I got here, I was just breathing heavily, not only because of the workout, but also because I was just kind of, well, not scared, but I really didn't want to do the rope climb because the second time I had to do them, I just didn't get up, right? And this other guy was really kind. He was like, you know what, you can do it, just push. I know you can do it. And I did it the first time, and it was just over with, which I was really happy about. So I finally had that out of the way, and then I had I think I forgot after doing the burpees to change up the count, so that's what I did there. And these thrusters, oh my gosh, I thought like they weren't gonna be that hard because it's just 8 kilos each, right? But when you have to do that many of them and you're trying to do it 4 times, it just makes the weights feel that much harder or that much heavier, which is really weird because I don't know that feeling in my training, because we're like, you know what, today training is going to be 90% of this, 2 times the 95, 2 times, and then we'll try matching your PR once. And that's the training. Like, you know how much you're gonna do. You don't have to try to do anything 4 times, and especially not max reps. So, well, not 4 times. I'm sorry, max reps in a certain amount of time. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that was a lot harder than I thought, and training CrossFit is just so different from any other sport, I think. If it's not a sport that has a lot of variance in it, I think even all around gymnastics isn't like CrossFit, because you have 4 events, well, for the girls, 4 events, and you know the 4 things you're going to do before you get there, and you try to put your best foot forward, and you'll only show the things you're really good at, right? So there's never this fear of having to be good at everything. And I think the thing that gets closest to this, I'd say personally, but I mean, I do track and field, is heptathlon and decathlon, because these multi-event sports, they force you to do everything. So you have to have good mobility, you have to have good strength, you have to have speed, and you have to have endurance. And everything is in some capacity included in multi-events in track and field. But I was always really bad at that. In Germany, when you're a little younger, you're very probable to do like the mini multi-events, so 5 events in one day. And that's girl and boy, same things. You can either choose something that has like more sprint in it, more throwing in it, or more running in it. And then when you get older, the girls have to do heptathlon and the guys have to do decathlon. And when I got to heptathlon, I stopped because like I think I did 2 competitions because I couldn't throw the javelin. Like I couldn't before either, but everyone else was starting to get really strong, and they would throw for like 40 plus meters, and I would throw it like 19. So I was really, really bad. And also I couldn't jump far or high, so I just stuck with hurdles because that was the only thing I was halfway decent at. And in CrossFit, you don't have the ability to just say, you know what, I don't want to do this because I'm not good at that. You have to do it all. And that's something I want to incorporate in my training from now on, because I think it's really cool to do that, to really try to be fit overall and not just in one certain thing. And I always go on my toes because the floor isn't even, so whenever I put my weight on my foot, I just lose traction with my heels. But not that bad. It's just something that I now realize looking at the footage. And here I'm taking my pants off. I do have shorts underneath. Do not fret. I'm not going to be running around just in underwear. Oh my gosh, it does look like that, right? But no, I did not. I'm actually wearing shorts like I always do. Hopefully you can see in a second because it looks really weird right now. Sorry about that. But I actually am wearing shorts. You can see here, pink Nike shorts. And what was I saying? I was bad at the heptathlon, so I stopped. I want to incorporate like the CrossFit mindset into my training, trying to do everything. And I think that was all I was about to say. And again, I'm like, oh no, here we go again. I hate this rope climb. Then here he was again, pausing a little bit just to tell me that I could do it, which I think was really, really nice. But I really do have to work on my rope climb. It's horrible. Just looking at it, I'm like, you're so inefficient, Kat. Like, what are you doing? And then my arms were, I'm shaking out my arms and legs because they were they were starting to get really heavy at, like, getting closer to the end. Even though it's not really the end, I think I have 2/3 right now or something like that. And as I already said earlier on, the coach was like, you have 1/3, you're doing really well. And we were like, are you kidding us? That's not good news. But then when he was saying, you're halfway through it, yay, we were all still like, great, yay, that means we have to do as much later on. But then when he got to say, just 10 more minutes, we're like, okay, we can do this. Then just 5 more minutes. They were like, you know what, we're close to the finish line. Then when he said 1 more minute, everyone was quiet because everyone was trying to get as many reps into that last minute as possible, because whenever you just have 1 more minute, you know, okay, the finish line is so close, 60 seconds is the time that I could really push myself for. So that's what we all did, I think. At least I did, and I felt like the other ones did because it was really quiet. And just so you don't think I was cheating, my camera can only record 29 minutes and 59 seconds, so a second less than half an hour, and the workout was exactly at half an hour. So I didn't want the camera to stop before I was finished, and because I started the camera probably up to a half a minute before starting the workout because I had to go to the rope climb, I knew it would die before that. So whenever I did have this break, I thought, you know what, I'm 2/3 to the workout, so I think I'll just start a new recording so that it won't die on, like my camera won't die on me. And here I just got some chalk because my hands were starting to be really sweaty, which is disgusting. I don't think I've sweat on my hands in forever, or it was the first time ever, I don't know. Anyhow, it was really gross, and I had to touch these steel dumbbells, so they were starting to slip out of my hands. So I just put chalk on them. But later on I had to do it again because after the rope climbs and the burpees, or the other way around, first the burpees and then the rope climb, I was trying to be like more efficient and more powerful, and I hit the dumbbell right into my chest, and it was really painful. So I was still feeling it here. It was really uncomfortable. Anyhow, after the burpees and the rope climbs, I didn't have any chalk on my hands anymore, so I had to re-chalk. Just saying that now already, because all I'm doing is pausing, resting. I didn't, like, at the time, I thought, you know what, I'm not even resting for that long. Am I? And now looking at it, I feel like sometimes I did rest a little longer than it would have been necessary, but forgive me. I mean, it was my first CrossFit workout, right? And if you ever did get this far of listening to me about my first ever CrossFit workout, thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for you. I think this is really interesting, at least to me, because I am fit, and for me it was still hard. So you can do this at any level, and it will train you overall. So I think that's a really good concept, and that's why I'm doing this video. And also for beginners, we had a girl there. She went to me after the warm-up. She was like, have you, like, this is your first time, right? Like, have you ever done anything like this? Because everything looks so good. And I was like, I have never done a CrossFit workout. And she was like, what? Like, how can you do all of these things? Like handstands and those, like, lizard crawls and stuff. And I was like, well, I've been doing track for like 10 years. So a couple of these things we do in training. And before that, I did gymnastics. So I would be mad at myself if I couldn't do any of this. She was like, oh, okay, thank God. I thought I was like that horrible, that I'm here for the first time, and everyone else who's here for the first time, they're that amazing, and I'm just like the complete rookie. But yeah, I think, like, as you can obviously see, I'm looking not towards where the other ones are, but into sort of the hedge, because I didn't want to be distracted. But here, when I turned around, I could see that she got even more easy variations than I did. Like, I had the easier push-ups, and she had everything easier, because I think it was really hard. And also, you want to be able to do the 30 minutes, right? So I think I said it earlier, but I don't remember. I already said that I did 18 instead of 10 burpees the first time around. So this time I only did 5 instead of 10, because I already did 8 extra. So at the end I actually did 3 on top of what I should have. So I thought that was fair. Even though, yes, I know I should have done 10, but anyway, I think it's fair. I think you can understand where I was going with this, right? So my last rope climb of the day, because the other one I just couldn't finish, but I was quite proud of this one. I think I got up there pretty well, because I was concentrated, but my pauses, like my breaks from the lunges to the, like, or from the burpees to the next round, to the next rope climb, where I'm like, my transitions were horribly slow. So it's really ridiculous. I should have just kept it moving, but you know, you learn, you live and you learn. So that's what I'm doing here. Living and learning, or pretty much dying and learning, but that's how we do it as CrossFitters, right? But back to what I was actually saying. I'm very thankful for you guys being here. Thank you very, very, very much for bearing with me through this workout. And also, as you can see, if you take the slider, like your cursor, from probably 20 minutes earlier from right now to here, it got dark real fast. I didn't even realize, like, during the workout, or that it actually really did get darker. Just at a certain point, I was like, why did it get dark? why am I training in the dark? When it started out, it was still light out. Anyway, that was that. And as you can see, my breaks are getting longer and longer, because I'm just failing myself. My strength is starting to dwindle down to nothing. My heart rate was up quite a bit. It would have been really interesting to have, like, my my watch with me, and like the strap around, like, under your chest, so that I actually would know how my heart rate was. but I didn't think of that. Also, I didn't know what kind of workout I was going to do, so. And when I went yesterday, I actually thought that the workout was going to be pretty similar, but it wasn't whatsoever. I did a completely different workout, so if you want to see how all the workouts of this week turned out or how they looked, then head over to my channel at the end of this week when I'll upload the video of the CrossFit challenge, really trying to get different workouts in different CrossFit gyms. So that's that. My plug, but as you can see, I'm really struggling. I just pretty much couldn't keep it together anymore. But I really was trying, and I think we're getting to the point where he was like, just 1 more minute, and where I started to just go for it. So here he was telling us it was 1.5 minutes to go and that we were supposed to push. It's not that long anymore, and that's how I felt, which is why my repetition speed is now increasing by around 400%. It's pretty much as fast or maybe even a little faster than it was in the beginning. If I was to look up how many reps I did per minute, I'm pretty sure that the first minute and the last minute were kind of equal, and the rest was very slow. But I mean, I really did try, and I think I did pretty well. I'm pretty sure only a couple of people in the class had more reps than I, so I felt pretty confident. Especially because in the second round I did five rope climbs pretty much, but obviously I failed 4 of those. And I also only had 1 variation to make it easier on me, so I didn't feel bad. Or at least I didn't feel that bad. You can't see in the dark, but I was trying to show you that I did 4 rounds. And that I was now going on to the rope climb. And I think I could have done it in time, because the other guy, he didn't have more reps than I. He did 1 rope climb. Here I didn't get up. Well, no, the time was out. Sorry. So time was over, and if I would have just gone straight from the lunges to the rope climb and just done it, I could have made it. But I didn't, and I'm not even that mad. Everyone else laying on the floor dying. That was me yesterday, but yeah. And after the workout, the coach told me, "Oh, you know what? I looked at you every once in a while, and everything that you have to do with your legs, you're pretty good at. But everything that has to do with upper arm strength, you need some work." So yeah, and then he asked me if I wanted to look around the gym, because before that I didn't realize that there was a basement too. And yeah, he just showed me around a little bit.
Was halt schön ist, dass wir diesen Außenbereich haben draußen.
Ja, das hatte ich davor gar nicht gesehen, diesen Rick. Das ist echt cool.
Ja. Dann haben wir hier Airbikes. Die sind auch ganz fies.
Das kann ich mir auch überhaupt nicht vorstellen, wie eklig das ist.
And for all the non-German speakers, we were pretty much just talking about that a lot of these machines you see at regionals, at the opens, often also even at the games, but that you can't really measure or compare how hard it is really, because you have never done it. And it's not as if you could say there's a certain weight and I can do that or I can. For example, with snatches or squats, but these machines, you don't know how they are. You've probably never seen them, so you can't compare like how well you do in it. So that was pretty much what we were talking about.
ist eine Variante. Die zweite Variante ist praktisch, das hast du bei den Games auch gesehen.
Ah ja. Mhm.
Ja.
Ja. Aber ich denke mir, dass das fast anstrengender ist, oder?
Ja, da bist du halt ein bisschen schneller. Ja. Und kriegst vielleicht ein bisschen mehr Druck drauf und bringst die Wattzahl oder die Kalorien besser weg.
Ich habe auch mal von einem Kommentator gehört, dass er meinte, wenn man die Arme so schwingt, auch beim Ballwerfen, wenn man die Arme schwingt, dann kommt das Blut wieder in die Finger.
Ja.
Und dann ist
Kann sein,
die
ja.
Regeneration ein bisschen besser. Das habe ich ja noch gar nicht gesehen, diese Dinger. Wie schwer sind die?
Für die Mädels sind es glaube ich 6 Kilo und für die Jungs 10.
Gott, ey.
Du kennst bestimmt das Workout.
Murph?
Murph, genau.
Ja.
Das machen wir einmal im Jahr.
Oh mein Gott.
Im Jahr
Ja.
mit der Gewichtsweste.
Gott.
Genau, dann haben wir hier Weightlifting.
Ja, ja. Damit kenne ich mich aus. Matthias Steiner. Dich kenne ich. Danke.
Genau.
Etwas, dass ich weiß, was passiert.
Das ist cool. Und das wird halt auch mit in die Workouts eingebunden, ja, dieses
Ja.
Weightlifting.